All right. Let us pray. Father in heaven, we thank you, dear Lord, for this day. We thank you, dear Lord, for the breath within our being. We ask, dear Lord, as we sit here and as we go over health, to go over wellness, dear Lord, that you may touch our hearts and our minds, that we may find a way of healthier living, dear Lord. And be with us, dear Lord, as we present this information from you, that it may not be from us, but that it may give all glory to you. We ask in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Just want to introduce everyone. For those who may not know, my name is Ken, and this is my beautiful bride, Erica. And we are with Changed by Beholding Ministries. We want to thank Pastor Milano and his wife and the Floyd family as well for giving us an opportunity to come in to share some information with you in regards to health. We've recently just completed a health seminar, or a medical missionary seminar, and so the information that we learned touched us, and so we want to do our part in order to share this information with others. We can say there's a lot of sickness and disease in this world. Is that right? Yes. Right. That is right. And so, you know, there is a way that we can present it. We'll talk about that in just a little bit of time, in just a second, as we get into our presentation. First, we are going to do our video presentation. We're going to learn some facts and get some educational tips. And then from there, we'll go into our cooking demonstration as well. We know we're a little bit behind on our time, so we're going to move very fast. If you have any questions, we ask that you hold them until the end, and we'll try to address as much as we can. We have a lot of other knowledgeable people here in the audience as well, and so we're going to be accessing you guys' information or you guys' knowledge base as well, in order so that we can all be knowledgeable as well. At the end, we do have some baked goods, some items that will be sold. If you happen to like banana bread and some other different things as well, we'll have those available for you as well. Anything like that?
No, I'll see you all on the demo side.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks so much. All right. So as we begin, our topic for this week, now mind you, we will be doing a seminar each Sunday for the month of March. So this is 1 out of 4. And today we're going to be talking about common diseases, Before I begin, let me ask you a question. What are some common diseases that plague our society today?
Diabetes.
Diabetes?
High blood pressure.
High blood pressure? Cancer?
Heart disease.
Heart disease. Wow.
Arthritis.
Arthritis. You know, you guys are on point. We did a seminar about a month ago as well, and they did exactly the same thing you did. They hit all 4 of the topics we're going to talk about today right in order. We can look at cardiovascular disease. We can look at hypertension and high blood pressure. Diabetes, and last but not least, cancer are our most prevalent, or some of our most prevalent common diseases that plague us today. Let me ask you guys a question. Did you guys know that many diseases can be avoided? Yes. We do? Many diseases can be avoided. So how is it that we have common diseases? Because that's a problem in and of itself when you say common. When you say the word common, by the definition, is something that is usual, something that takes place quite often. Well, if diseases can be avoided, and I don't know anybody in here would say that they would like to have a disease, is that correct? Why is it that we don't avoid it? Here's a quote here that many, even doctors and things like that, say around, and we know. It says that your genetics loads the gun, but your lifestyle pulls the trigger. Now, he's not the only one who said it, but here it is right here. What it says is that there's some things that you may have predisposition to. Some people have high blood pressure that runs in their family. Some people do have heart disease, all the common diseases that we just talked about. However, it is important to understand that your lifestyle, how you live, what you eat, what it is that you do or don't do as far as exercise, drinking water, etc., determines whether those diseases come upon you. Which means that I can prevent them just by changing my what? Lifestyle, right? My lifestyle. Here it is right here. The Bible actually told us that a long time ago. In Proverbs chapter 26, verse 2, it says that as the bird wandering, as the swallow by flying, so the curse causeless shall not come. Curses come because of a reason. Things happen because of a cause. And in Job 29:16, it lets us know, it says, I was a father to the poor, and the cause which I knew not, I searched out. It is very important that when these diseases come upon us, that we seek to find out the cause of why it came, right? And here it is right here. These are 4 things that we must be intelligent to diseases. The first one is disease in and of itself. What is this disease? How does it affect me? There's some diseases that you have that actually lead to other complications. So if I have heart disease, it can lead to a stroke. It can lead to different things. So if I'm getting these symptoms, well, what is the disease that I had and what are the symptoms that leads to it? The cause of it. Why did it come? Because if I can know why it came, then I can do what? Make an adjustment. Is that right? All right. Prevention. I need to know how I can prevent it from happening before. Now I know the cause and I know why it's coming. Now I need to take steps to reverse it or to cause it. And then the cure, which is to reverse by doing those as well. All right. Cardiovascular disease. CD is caused by many different factors, but atherosclerosis is the gradual buildup of fat and deposits inside the blood vessels. And so if I have a blood vessel and it starts to get clogged, what do you think happens? You guys can talk to heart attack, stroke, absolutely. Depends upon where it's at. If it's in your brain, it causes what? Stroke, right? So here it is right here. Here's a picture of it. You can actually see this happens over a course of time. And you can see the clear artery right here. And over time, it actually builds up. First decade, third decade, fourth decade. And you see it's more than 50% closed up. And many people have to have bypass surgeries and quadruple bypass surgeries because of things that they've eaten and things that have clogged up their system. So we see here, let me say just a quick pause. I have to give God some glory here. This we were playing, Zach and I, we were playing for a long time about trying to get the projector thing to work. And the Lord impressed me one more time to pray. And I said, prayer changes things. Didn't I say that? And all of a sudden, guess what's happening? It works. So that's just a testimony of it, okay? Prayer changes things even without help, right? Is that right? All right, with that being said, let's go ahead. That was not working, huh? The devil heard it. No, I'm joking. So here it is right here. Let's look at heart disease, right? It's the leading cause of death in men and women and people of most racial ethnic groups in the United States. So in the United States, heart disease is killing more people than anything else. How is it that we're not knowing about it? How is it that we're not trying to avoid it? One person every 36 seconds died. So since you've been here, which has been probably maybe let's just say about 30 minutes or so, think about how many people have lost their life just to this one disease. About 600, sorry, I'm in the way of the screen. About 650,000 people in the United States die from the heart disease each year, and that's 25% of deaths. And now here's the kicker right here. Not only is it the leading cause of death in the United States, guess what? It's the leading cause of death globally. Worldwide. Cardiovascular disease. And if something is common, I would want to know about it. Is that right? So the most important behavioral risks to heart disease and stroke are an unhealthy diet, physical inactivity, tobacco use, harmful use of alcohol. Actually, to be honest with you, I changed that. I think I copied that and put that on here. Use of alcohol, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
All right, because some people say that there's a helpful use of it. It impairs and it does so much. There's so many people who have liver cirrhosis of the liver and all kinds of things, make bad decisions, lifelong decisions that impairs them, etc. Use of alcohol should be avoided, eliminated. All right, and high blood pressure and high cholesterol levels. All right. So cardiovascular disease prevention, because we said we need to find out what the disease is, we need to find out the causes of it, we need to find out the prevention of it, and then we need to find out the cure. And so refraining from tobacco, refraining from alcohol, these things we said. Exercising 30+ minutes of moderate intensity each day. Reducing our cholesterol intakes. Dietary cholesterol is only found in animal products. I'll repeat that again. Dietary cholesterol is only found in where? Animal products. So if we are not ingesting in animal products, we actually improve our chances, or actually decrease our chances. Let me put it this way: decrease our risk of developing cardiovascular disease. All right, eating more fruits, nuts, and vegetables and grains, reducing our intake of saturated fats, trans fats, and salts. And when we say reduce, it's because a lot of people use salts. A lot of people use these different fats and things. And when we talk not just to we talk to a lot of different people. So we want to encourage any step towards reduction or elimination altogether is good. Isn't that right? All right. So we have here, choose heart healthy foods such as garlic. And let me tell you, garlic is one of the most powerful everything you can take, antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral, anti-everything. It actually helps you to be able to lower your LDLs, but actually increasing your HDLs as well. So it helps in so many different ways. There was some woman, I heard of a story of a woman who was eating garlic and she was popping it like it was candy. She went to go have a surgery. And when she had the surgery, she was bleeding so much. They wanted to find out why it was. They told her it was because of the garlic. They said you're eating too much garlic. So she had to come back. Too much of anything, even if it's good, is not good. Is that right? But with that being said, yeah, it actually acts as a blood thinner and cause it to bleed a little bit more. But there's a lot of different things garlic is good for. Hypertension is the silent killer. Does anyone know why they call hypertension the silent killer?
No symptoms.
No symptoms.
Symptoms. It's absolutely true. Here it is right here. It's known as high or raised blood pressure. It's a condition in which the blood vessels have persistently raised pressure. Blood is carried from the heart to all parts of the body in the vessels. Each time the heart beats, it pumps blood into the vessel. And blood pressure is created by the force of blood pushing against the walls, the blood vessels or the arteries, as it's pumped by the heart. The higher the pressure, the harder the heart has to pump. Now, if I'm straining my heart over the course of time, day after day, after a course of years and decades, what do you think happens to it? Because it's a muscle, right? It fatigues. All right. And that's one reason why a lot of people die early, just because of high blood pressure. It says hypertension is a serious condition which can cause a risk of, increase the risk of heart, brain, kidney, and other diseases. So here it is right here. I'm having high blood pressure, but this one high blood pressure can cause so many different ailments. So all of a sudden I'm having brain issues. It could be linked to heart disease. I'm having kidney diseases. It could be linked to what? I'm in hypertension, right? It says it causes premature deaths upwards into 1 to 4 men and 1 in 5 women, over 1 billion people having this condition. And we only have 7.4 billion, something like that on the earth. So if it's affecting over 1 billion, that's a lot of people worldwide. And a normal blood pressure reading is lower than 120 over 80, and it fluctuates from there. But if you want to look at the ideal, you look at 120 over the systolic and the 80 the diastolic. How much the pressure is when it's pumping versus when it's resting. All right. Do we have any nurses or doctors in the house? Anyone? No. Okay. So some of this is very familiar to you. Is that right? Awesome. So here it is right here. Hypertension symptoms and risk factors. Headaches, pounding of the heart, dizziness, easily fatigued, impotence, alcohol intake, too much salt in the diet, stress. And stress is something that kills a lot of people. They don't even know it. You know, stress, always having responsibility to things to do. Smoking, diabetes, lack of exercise, a family history, and advanced age. Osteosclerosis, what we just talked about, and many times they are what? No symptoms until a stroke occurs, which is why it's known as the silent killer. So let me. They say that an ounce of what is it?
Prevention.
A pound. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Is that right? So here it is right here. I don't want something I don't know is even going to attack me. You can't fight against it. Here it is right here. If I'm eating and I'm doing these things, I don't know when it could come about. I can have a stroke and people would know, well, what in the world happened? And it can be all because of what? High blood pressure. All right. Look at that heart. What's it doing? It's exercising, pumping some weight, right? Getting strong. So we need to think about how we can get have hypertensive treatment and prevention by getting strong. All right. It says loss of weight if overweight. So if we happen to have more weight on side of us, just losing weight can actually decrease your chances of hypertension and a stroke. It says decrease your salt intake. And to be honest with you, we should have less than 3/4 of a teaspoon per day. That's a little bit of salt. Might as well just go ahead and do away with all of it, right? So it says eat a low-fat diet, avoiding all fried foods. It says avoid entirely and decrease animal products due to the cholesterol and the saturated fats. Get plenty of moderate exercise, and we talked about 30 minutes or more a day. And increase your garlic intake, which helps to lower your blood pressure, LDLs, and triglycerides, while also raising your HDL and the regression of plaque buildup. And then eat foods containing potassium. help eliminate as well. Eat foods high in fiber, a high fiber diet, oatmeal, legumes, fresh fruits and vegetables. Eat a lot of calcium. Avoid tobacco and alcohol. Avoid caffeine and tea. Hydrotherapy, and we may talk about that in one of the upcoming weeks, because hydrotherapy, use of hot and cold water, actually helps. When people hurt themselves, what are the first things they go do? They go put ice on it, right? Everybody know that that's hydrotherapy? People do it and don't even know that they do it. They go to put ice on it. And the reason why they go to put ice on it is because the cold actually helps to stop the blood flow. It actually constricts your blood vessels in order to help the blood to stop. All right. So, and then managing your stress. Diabetes, we're moving right along. Diabetes. There's type 1 and there's type 2 diabetes, and we'll take a look. So diabetes is a chronic metabolic disease characterized by elevated levels of blood glucose or blood sugar, which leads over time to serious damage of the heart, blood vessels, eyes, kidneys, and nerves. So are we saying like a common trend, how these diseases affects not only one area, but multiple areas in the body? So, and we see that these are common diseases. Why are they so common? Do they have to be common? And at least if they're common with everyone else, do they need to be common within us and our families? No. All right. And so we see here, the most common is type 2 diabetes, which is usually in adults, which occurs when the body becomes resistant to insulin or doesn't make enough insulin. In the past 3 decades, the prevalence of type 2 diabetes has risen dramatically in countries of all income levels. This is worldwide issues that we're talking about here. And guess what? It doesn't have to be. So we see here type 1 diabetes. Type 2 is the more common. And that's something that happens or is an onset based off of our lifestyle and our living, which means that it can be changed. But type 1 diabetes is known as juvenile diabetes or insulin-dependent diabetes. And it's a chronic condition in which the pancreas produces little or no insulin by itself. For people living with diabetes, access to affordable treatment, including insulin, it is critical for their survival to get insulin shots. So let's look at some of the symptoms of diabetes. Increased thirst or dry mouth, frequent or increased urination, increased hunger, fatigue and weakness, frequent infections, blurred vision, weight loss in type 1, and also common yeast infections and fungal infections as well. So let's take a look at some of the cures. Type 1 diabetes, it says daily insulin shots must be maintained in order to get the proper insulin within your system. And also all of the ones we're getting ready to talk about in type 2 are also for type 1 as well to help. But the insulin for type 1 is the difference. So type 2 diabetes, the main cure that we can have or prevention that we can have is the exercise. And Dr. Ken Goodrich says, we know that if everybody, and listen to everybody, it says that we know that if everybody exercised a few hours a week, type 2 diabetes would be virtually non-existent. The trick is motivating everybody to do it. Doesn't that say a lot? That says a lot. He says that it would be virtually non-existent, but yet it's a common disease. Just exercise. All right. So we see here, it says weight management. And if you are exercising, then that helps with what? Weight management. Obesity is frequently one of the primary causative factors of insulin resistance. All right. So let us mind what it is that we eat and our diet as well. So health diet, talking about preventions. It says low in fat and refined foods, high in fiber, avoid or limit sugar and sugary food intakes. And sugar is not good for our systems at all. One of the things that sugar does, it actually, how can I say it? It neutralizes, that's not the word I'm looking for, but it kind of like immobilizes your immune system. So with all the sickness and everything that's going on today, and I'm eating sugars and candies and things of that nature, and I go out into the public, I've actually just paused my immune system while I'm making myself susceptible to everything that's around. Is that right? You ever notice why a lot of people get sick around like November, December, and January times? That's the holiday season. Everybody eating their pies and their cakes and they, all the things that they have though. So you got Thanksgiving and you got Christmas and then you got New Year's. And so a lot of people get sick, especially with the cold weather that actually comes as well. So let us be mindful of the sugar intakes. Let us eat foods high in carbohydrates. Total plant-based diet is what's best. Avoid animal products, which are high in many of the unhealthy areas that contribute to insulin resistance. Avoid overeating. Make sure you eat in moderation. Regularly scheduled diet. Avoid nicotine and avoid stress. Last but not least is cancer. And cancer plagues many of us here across the world. Make sure it's still good. Okay. Cancer plagues many across the world. And we talked about the number one being CD or cardiovascular disease. Thank you, I appreciate it. But we have cancer here. It says in a large group of diseases that can start in almost any organ or tissue of the body when abnormal cells grow uncontrollably. They go beyond their usual boundaries to invade adjoining parts of the body and to spread to other organs. The latter process is called metastasizing, and it's a major cause of death from cancer. And cancer is the second leading cause of death globally. So we said that CD or cardiovascular disease is number one, and cancer is number two. And when we hear about number one and number two, usually, those are the ones that are known, you would think, right? And, even in common everyday, living, if I ask somebody, well, what's the richest man in the world? Somebody can be able to tell me, what is it? Elon Musk now, right? If I told somebody, well, who is the number one player or this, that, and the other, the world would tell you, what? Tom Brady or Michael Jordan or something like that. Most people know number one. We know cardiovascular disease is number one. We know that cancer is number two, but yet it's a common disease. Shouldn't be within our lives or in our families, all right? Let's educate ourselves and our families in regards to it. So let's look at some of the risk factors for cancer. Smoking, alcohol use, dietary risk. So these things, just for those who are online as well, these things actually increase our risk of getting cancer. Heavy meat diet, especially red meat. Some people eat their meat rare, and we know that the life of the blood is where? The life of the body is in the what? In the blood, and we're supposed to refrain from eating what? Blood, right? And so many different contaminants and disease and things that are coming from eating the blood. I know when I was younger and I ate meat, I used to ask for well done. But yet, is all of it still out of it? No. And here, see, it is right here. We see that meat actually contributes to some of the diseases that we have, especially cancer, which is the second leading cause as well, and number one, which is cardiovascular disease. It says food contains high fat and high cholesterol, dairy, eggs, coffee, and chocolate. Excess protein should be avoided because it weakens the immune system. Inactivity, overweight, and obesity. And so we see here's some environmental risk factors as well. Sunlight or overexposure. Too much of anything is good. The sun gives you vitamin D, is that right? But if I stay in it too much, then I can get what? Skin cancer or skin sunburn, right? And so it says nuclear different diseases. Now, we don't have, and prayerfully, none of that stuff happens. I know there's a lot of talk in the news about that, but nuclear issues, but not just about like actual acts of terror or anything like that too, but also too, just medical things like x-rays or electromagnetic fields. When they build towers up, like cell phone towers and things of that nature in your area, or like those 5G towers and stuff, it emits actually electromagnetic current or electromagnetic field, which actually affects us as well. So it's very important that if we can avoid living near them or avoiding exposing ourselves to them, that we do so, because these things actually cause a lot of the diseases we have, including these cancers and stuff like that too. There's a location up north. I won't give the name, but it's a lot of Adventists that live there. They have like a plant that's there as well. And a lot of people in the area become sick with cancer and lose their life. And unfortunately, we've experienced that within our family as well, too. So other factors is vehicle exhaust, indoor pollutants. It's good to have your windows open so you can get a breath of fresh air that's circulating through your home and not stale air. Nitrates, pesticides, radioactive exposure, chlorinated waters, HPV and hepatitis as well are also risk factors for cancer. But let's look at some of the preventions. Stop smoking. Smoking causes a lot of illnesses and a lot of cancers, just from lung cancer to all this kinds of things as well. Avoid alcohol. Eat a healthy diet. Avoid excess sunlight exposure. Adopt a physical lifestyle. We're seeing a lot of the same trends in how to overcome these diseases. Is that right? A lot of the prevention is through what? Exercise, eating healthy, avoid certain kinds of food, meat products, and things of that nature as well. You know, achieve an active, healthy weight. Avoid HPV and hepatitis, and participate in regular screening exams. All right. So again, the question is asked: do we now know that many diseases could be avoided? Can everybody say a resounding yes? Is that yes? Yes, they can be avoided. Again, it says that the genetics loads the gun, but your lifestyle pulls the trigger. And I don't know anybody wants to trigger pull to them. So therefore, we're in control of that based off of how it is that we live. So let's look at God's plan for you as we prepare to wind down. In John chapter 3 John chapter 1, verse 2, God says, "Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospers." All right, we know John wrote it, but we said all inspiration is given by God. So this is God's desire for us, that we be in good health, that we prosper, and that we be in health. All right. So God's awesome laws of health, God's plan. How is it that we can live on a daily basis and we can avoid a lot of these diseases? And it's found in God's 8 laws of health. And the acronym is God's plan. So we're going to look at it. Godly trust, trusting in God. If we trust in God, the stress aspect of it should be removed. Is that right? All right. We said open air, getting daily access to fresh air. Opening the windows in your home if you happen to be inside your home. Getting out and doing some exercise as well. Daily exercise was the next one. We said about 30 plus minutes a day if you can, or at least a couple hours a week. Will help to decrease your weight, move that blood flow around. A lot of times our blood gets dirty and stale. If you think about a car, right? In a car, you have to do what with the oil? You have to change it every so often. Is that right? Because it gets what? It gets dirty, right? And it starts to damage what? The parts of the car, the system of the car. That engine, if your engine is damaged, that car doesn't run. Is that right? Well, it's the same thing with our heart. It's the same thing with our body. We got to keep it rejuvenated. We got to keep it flowing. If I'm just sitting down all every day at the computer or doing that, if I'm not moving, I'm not exercising, running, then I don't have any way to get that blood circulating through my body. So exercise is very important. Sunshine, getting vitamin D. Do you know a lot of people become depressed during the winter months? Everybody know why that is? Lack of sunshine, all right? Proper rest. And this is something that I try to tell myself all the time as well. Lord's working with me as well. Even I'm giving the information, I still have to go and learn it myself, so I haven't arrived. But proper rest is something that we all need. We don't realize all the things that happen. I was actually looking at something to think about as well. I was looking at a educational program when this lady was going on all the things that happen at rest, how it rejuvenates your body, how it helps your remembrance, how it repairs injury that has been done to your body over the course of the day that you may not even know was done. It is so important for us to get proper rest, and we fail to do it. Another thing is water. We don't drink enough water because our body's made up mostly of what? Water. So therefore, we need that water. We need it to help to do so many different things to our body as well. Okay, and being always temperate. Even in the good things, because the good things are good. But if I do it too much, it's not good anymore. Somebody said, matter of fact, we had a friend who, I had a friend of a friend who drank water. And when I mean they drank water, I've never seen anybody drink more water than this particular person. They had, I would say, if some people carry like a gallon jug, he would walk around probably 2-gallon jugs and just drink it. He ended up getting sick because he was hydro. He had a hydro. He had too much water. So and you wouldn't think, because water is good for you, right? We're supposed to drink water, but anything not done in moderation is not good. Too little or too much. So we need to know what is best and become knowledgeable about it as well, okay? And then nutrition, what it is that we eat. It's very important to our sustenance, our success in life, and how it is that we live. Again, so we said in Proverbs and in John, the disease comes with a cause. Every disease comes because of a cause. And guess what I'm supposed to do? I'm supposed to find out or search out that particular cause. And now that we have this information today, we have a choice that we have to make. Now we have to choose life or we have to choose the opposite. But we have to make a decision. Once we have the information, once we have the knowledge, God actually requires for us to determine what it is that we're going to do with it, or we have to make a knowledgeable decision as to where it is that we're going to go. So don't take the knowledge that we have, or that we knew, or that we've learned, or went over today, and put it off to the side. Let's make a choice. Because as we said, that all of these things can be prevented. And if we do get sick, it's because we've chosen to, right? So with that being said, we've gone over our lesson part of it. Now we're going to go to the cooking demonstration aspect of it. Are we ready back there? No. I tell you what, is there any questions that we have? We'll give them a minute or two left. Is there any questions that we had? Anything that was shared? No questions?
So there has to be some kind of chocolate.
So, you know, one of the things, so.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
Right. And so, you know, there is.
Okay.
And let me say this to you, because like a lot of times we want to find substitutes to a lot of things that we have taste for and everything like that too. And we expect it to taste exactly like what it is that we came from. And that's not the case. Let me give an example before I answer your question. So matter of fact, I probably had some today, but I have like a big bowl. I try to get like healthy cereal. And some people think it's like the size of an aquarium. And I eat bowls of cereal. I grew up eating bowls of cereal, and I was milk, regular milk into it. Well, once I came into learning a little bit more and realizing about dairy and things of that nature, I tried to do like soy milk. I tried to do almond milk, and it just didn't agree with my body. It made my throat itchy and stuff like that too. And so for a long time, I just did away with milk. I did away with cereal. And now, mind you, that was traumatizing to me because I grew up eating it. Something quick, poured in there, good on the run. Long story short, after a while of not having those things, and I don't want to say it was like a detoxification or anything like that too, I went back to it again. And guess what I could do? I was able to receive it. So now I can actually eat, have almond milk as a substitute. So with that being said, yes, there is I don't even want to say a substitute, but there's an alternative, which is Cara. And a lot of people say, well, I don't like the taste of carrot, this, that, and the other. You can do many different things with carrot to make it taste differently. As a matter of fact, I believe Sister Jones, she has a carrot brownie that you can try today as well. I think it's part of the ones that's for sale, but you can taste it out as well and see. Okay, it's not expensive, you see, but you can actually see the difference in how it is. So you can still eat, you know what I mean, eat. And a lot of people have that misunderstanding. When I told people before I'm plant-based eater, they're like, what do you eat, grass and salads and things of that nature? Absolutely not. So I had pictures of like some dishes, and my wife, she's an amazing cook. You know what I mean? Some dishes, and they were like, oh, wow, that looks like just what I eat. Well, yeah, it is, to some degree, but a lot healthier. Any other, had a question?
I just have a question about the salt. If it said if you have to have so little, just might work without it.
Right.
That's really okay.
To do without salt?
Yeah.
Yes, because there's a lot of things that you eat which has natural stuff inside of it. A lot of times we feel like let me say this, because I think all of us here from, when God created us, there was no salt. You see what I'm saying? A lot of times like everything that we needed in our diet was provided for us from the foods that it is that we ate. So, but if you have to like have salt, there are alternatives too to like just the regular white salt. Like you can have Celtic salt, you can have Himalayan salt, you can have anyone else have Herbamere. Herbamere is another one too, which is like a salt substitute that doesn't have some of the same effects that the iodized white and stuff like that salt has as well. So there's many different things that you would have. I would actually go with I think the Celtic salt out of all of them is the best. Then the pink Himalayan salt, and then they're all. But Herbamere is something else too that actually works well. Anyone else have anything else too?
I have two questions. Number one is there a possibility of getting too much protein that will affect you adversely? And number two, is there anything negative that you know of about soy milk?
Yes and yes. So yes, anything in too much of a quantity will hurt you. So the answer to the protein part is yes. The answer to the soy milk is that you have to be careful because soy milk has a lot of estrogen in it as well, and especially for males and for females, because I mean it can actually have an adverse effect. If I'm a female and I already have estrogen and I'm increasing that estrogen, it affects me negatively. If I'm a male and I don't have that much estrogen, but I have some, because I mean we both have a little bit of both, then it affects negative too. So you have to be careful even on that. I tend to try to go with things that are a nut substance, kind of, you know what I mean? Which, but you have to be careful even with that as well. Because when you buy from the store, unless you're making it yourself, I can guarantee you that they have additives in it, salts. I mean, not salt, yeah, probably salts and sugars and things of that nature as well. But it's better than the alternative. And see, here's the thing about it. God wants us, he says, be ye perfect even as your Father in heaven is perfect. We are always striving towards living a better and healthier lifestyle. And God knows our heart. If we're trying to do better and we're trying to be better, I may not necessarily be where you are, you may not necessarily be where I am, but we're making strides to go do it. It's not like leave from here and some people could do stuff cold turkey. I mean, I was a person, I could do stuff cold turkey, but everybody's not like that. It's a progressive type state. And so if you can't, if you eat something, you do something that we've talked about, don't beat yourself up over it. Please don't, because that's not what God would have you to. You're adding stress to yourself. Ask God for help to change whatever it is too that, you're pressed to change through the Holy Spirit. And then, he'll help you do that, right? You go ahead.
I have one more question, and then I won't talk before.
No, you're fine.
As far as the cereal, I know it depends somewhat on a person's taste.
Right.
But in your opinion, what is the best substitute for cereal that when you don't want to use the milk?
Cereal when you don't want to use the milk. I have to think about that. Does anybody else have one maybe that they like that doesn't have cereals, that doesn't have? Go ahead.
With hot cereal, you know,
Yeah, because I was thinking oatmeal and stuff like that too. But I'm thinking like when you say
Cold cereal.
like dry.
Yeah, something that no milk, but something that would be the best in your opinion, or that you know of.
There's many different.
For a milk substitute.
Yes.
Oh, a milk substitute. Oh, okay, a milk substitute. Okay. You can actually do oat milk and make it yourself. Like, I'm not the professional in that stuff right now, but I do know of actually a friend who was, a gentleman, who I was talking to, I believe, Allen's. They were talking about how they've made their own oat milk. So, that's something I'll touch base with him on, but something you can touch base with him on as well. And use oatmeal to make milk. And season it the way that you want. We're getting to a time and stuff like that too, where we have to try to make as much as we can for ourselves, grow as much as we can for ourselves, because even the vegetables that are in the store, they don't have the nutritional value. And I think that's kind of what you were saying, my sister. They don't have the nutritional value as when they were created, they had. So we can still have deficiencies and need to take supplements because we're not getting all the nutrients we've had. But it's very important that if you grow your own stuff, I can put a lot of those nutrients into the ground. I can put a lot of those things that the stuff from the store, because all they're trying to do is mass generate. And they're not letting the soil rest. They're just growing things, and it's void of the nutrients. To grow your own, have your own garden, even if it's a small little garden, growing this one particular thing, some tomatoes, something like that too. Start somewhere. Okay. So oat milk is one that you can definitely try as well. Pastor, sorry.
I was going to make a comment about the soy.
Sure.
There's two schools of thought on that. Walter Reif did a nice presentation on as he put it, the falsity of the estrogen. It's a phytoestrogen which does not affect the body the way the estrogen that you're describing would have on the body.
Right. Okay.
So, like I said, there's two schools of thought. Some say that it's bad, but when I think about our Creator God, is He going to create something that's going to be harmful for us in the plant kingdom? It's not like we're eating weed or marijuana or something like that. The soybean is something God has created. As a matter of fact, science has said it's nearly a perfect food. That if all you had was soybeans, you would lack very little in your diet. So I would suggest you do more research. But you know, our family's been using soybean pretty heavily. We drink soy milk every day. We use tofu all the time. For 15 years, there's not an ailment that we know of as a result of no issues that we're aware of. As long as it's organic. It's not organic, it is genetically modified. So you gotta watch that. That's a concern.
Right. Okay. Thank you for that, Pastor. I appreciate that. And you know, and like you said though, and I encourage everybody, don't take our word for it. Go and study it. That's why it says that the cause that I knew not, I went and I did what? I searched out. Because as you do research and as you do, you'll find different things. But I'm sure even in things that God has given us, too much of it is not good. Too little of it is not what? Good. And that's kind of what we're speaking of on today. Because we have soybeans. Matter of fact, I believe it's tofu. If not today, probably another week, tofu. We use it a lot in our home. As a matter of fact, a lot of people try to avoid away from tofu and things because they say it has no taste. But really, it has the taste that you give it. And so that's something that you'll learn about as well. And I'm sure you guys know that also too. I saw a hand.
So can you talk a little bit about coconut milk? Is it okay? I mean, there's organic coconut milk.
I would think that coconut milk is okay, but I mean, of course, like I said, you know, it has its pros and its cons. Anybody else have any knowledge in regards to coconut milk? It comes from a nut? Right, as a substitute. Yeah, I believe it would be good. I mean, as well. I mean, it comes from a nut. Yeah. You do? Yeah. And continue. Continue. You know, really what we're speaking on is the things that we know when we talk about animal products and things of that nature too. If just something that, you know, if that's something that you use, identify an appropriate substitute for yourself. Anything that comes from a nut, anything that comes from a bean, as we talked about. So soy to, you know, like oatmeal, to grains. It comes from those different things that God especially has created should actually be good for you. Just note that anything that in overabundance is not good. Okay. Or too little. Any other questions? No? All right. Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and transition to our cooking demonstration. We're going to have everyone, if you couldn't you could switch to the opposite sides of your table. I apologize that you had to do it because we're on opposite sides of the room. But we'll give you also too maybe a 5-minute break as well. So it's about 3:06. We'll come back about 3:10.
Very nice.
No,
just a little bit of this is
So you.
things to themselves that we need to get something here. Then it just becomes changing and.
All right, everyone. Thanks, man. Hopefully you had a good break and looking for part 2 of our wellness and cooking class. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mrs. Jones.
Good afternoon, everyone. Again, we are going to go ahead on into the cooking demo. I want to first start by saying we are acknowledging that we are in a pandemic. And so one of the things that a lot of people are concerned with is, catching the disease and how can I prevent it? And so what we're going to do today is share with you a nature's flu shot, something that you can just take by juicing, and you don't have to take the shot, but you can take this and on a regular basis, which will prevent colds. It will even help with your allergies and different things along those, so respiratory issues, all of that. So we're just going to go right on ahead and share what that is. So you see a lot of, I like using fruit as props because it's where we get our good nutrition from. I'm going to start with the juice of 6 lemons. So that's what this here is. We already kind of pre-did that. I have the demo here for the display of lemons. It's good to have lemons in your home, and it is very beneficial to a lot of different healing properties, especially your liver. A little health tip, I'll say that lemons, if you drink hot water and juice of a lemon in the morning, it will flush out your liver. So that's a good way to do that. So the next thing we're going to do is do a bowl of garlic, and I have here 2. I'm not going to use 2. 1 garlic bowl. Had my children kind of helping me a little bit here. So we have a bowl of 1 garlic, and in this container is 2 teaspoons of ginger. Okay, and I'm gonna eyeball 2 tablespoons of honey. I kind of usually get it right. You kind of know how many people here are eyeball cookers. Yeah, so I think that maybe a little bit. And actually, it won't hurt to have a little bit more. Honey is very good for healing properties.
Especially local honey.
Yes, your local honey. All right, and so then I like to add, well, before I do that, I'm gonna also add 3 cups of pineapple juice, organic pineapple juice. It's good for breaking up your mucus. Has bromelain in it, and we're gonna do 3 cups of that.
What was that word you just said? It has what in it?
Bromelain. Okay. And next, I am going to add a little bit of turmeric. Turmeric is very good for inflammation. And if you can add it to anything that you eat or drink, it's very beneficial. So I believe that concludes everything. One more thing, and that is cayenne pepper. I didn't do the cayenne pepper because not everyone can take the heat, and trust me, the ginger will help. So I'm going to go ahead and blend.
No onions, and that's it, what they call rocket fuel. Has it been referred to as rocket fuel, this?
I've never heard that before, but possibly.
Because it's a very similar recipe to one, but it has
Has onions in it, or
half an onion, which which is, I mean, that's like, wow, very hard to.
I thought my book is over here, it might be in the car, but actually we brought a book that is titled God's Pharmacy, and it has another version of food rank that has that in it.
Do you have this recipe written down anywhere for us to take home? Or
Yes, we're gonna get that to you.
And it's not.
And I like to just put a state of making sure that everything's set it up. Then your drink is complete.
Hey.
So I am gonna hand it off to my.
That's a
business
Vitamix.
start. I'm going to pour those into some serving cups for you. So that you guys get a taste of that. All right.
are you saying that, so you're saying that this is good for you to help fight common cold?
Yes, absolutely. Head colds, common colds, respiratory. I give it to my children.
Yeah.
And I do put a little bit of cayenne in there, just a little pinch because it's good for your heart. It just, all of these are from nature, and so it can't hurt. I'm very careful about the amount that I put in when you're dealing with children because the ginger really is spicy by itself. So you just kind of have, I mean, some children like it. You know, they really like the flavor of ginger, and they.
Can you just give them a small amount like the pepper?
I would give them about 4. My children drink, the littlest one, Kalinda, she drinks probably, and she keeps coming back for more in one serving. And I would say about 4 ounces, you know, at a time. You know, you can drink it preventatively. It's, you know, that's the ideal thing. But if you do get get a cold, you want to go ahead and immediately at the start of any sickness, any signs of sickness, sniffles, sneezes, anything that you feel like, oh man, I have a runny nose, I'm getting sick, a tickle in your throat, immediately start doing everything that you know to do because it will help. It will fight it off. I know personally, there was a time where I was sick or getting sick, and I could feel something in my throat. And I just started, there's some also different therapeutic remedies that we do as well, and those are very simple. But, you know, maybe on another time I can show you, talk to you about it. But along with that, along with everything else that I knew, including the food drink, it was very helpful. So let me know how that is for you. So I'll tell you this, since you're dealing with children or anyone who's dealing with small children, you may want to, because of the ginger being so spicy, I will add 4 tablespoons, like about 1/4 a cup of honey, just to kind of offset the spice, just a little bit. But I didn't figure we all are mostly adults in here, so we can handle the heat. Right? We can handle the heat a little bit. So, so while that is going on,
Yeah. Just I'm not stuck to check.
so what do you think? It's just 2 gingeries and spicy? So I would have to add maybe 2 more tablespoons to it for you. But as I said, it's fine.
Yeah.
No, it's not bad at all.
Oh, awesome.
That's good.
Awesome. And just by doing that, you can prevent sickness. I'm gonna share something with you.
You're doing that every day, right?
Yes, I mean, well, you don't have to do it every day. I mean, again, it's not just one thing that heals you. It's the combination of everything, like the fresh air, it's exercising, all of that is working for you. And then along with that, you add in these different remedies will you know, just height it up.
One question and I'll stop. So I was to make a blender full and I gave it to the kids and then we still had some left. Could I keep it in the refrigerator
Absolutely.
overnight? Okay,
Absolutely.
sorry.
I make batches of it. I just made some what, a week or two ago, and I made just a whole lot. You know, I heard someone was sick, and we were near them. I wasn't sick. Nobody in my family was sick, but I wanted to be precautioned. So
You just keep it in the refrigerator, right?
yeah, you can do that. You know, and I
How
think that
long?
I would say probably 10 days to 2 weeks, something like that. And around that time, it starts to change taste. Not that it's bad, it's just takes on a different flavor.
Tastes like it could be a salad dressing too.
Yeah, and many of the recipes for salad dressing has garlic and
Yeah.
lemon and all of these different things in it. So I'm gonna go ahead. That's what it was. I was gonna share something. So we got hit with, you know, like many of us, with COVID over the summer. And, you know, one of the things that we did do was natural remedies, you know, and that is how we fought off the virus. There's a number of things that oregano oil and just a lot of different things, nature food drink. And even if you have it, not drinking it is not going to hurt. It's just going to help your body to fight. And that's what we want. We want to be able to give our body what it needs so that we can fight. If we don't, then we lie dormant, and then, you know, things happen.
I'm just gonna add too, it's important to ingest, but it's also even more important to eliminate as well. So when you get sick, you know, it's good to ingest a lot of, you know, your garlics and your different things as well, but you also want to be able to eliminate. So some people will tell you, or which one thing that's good is like enemas. Everybody's may or may not feel comfortable doing it or whatever, but enemas or having like a high, what do you call it? When you have like a laxative, things of that nature, to eliminate the toxins out of your body, but then also to, in combination with that, intaking a lot of your natural antibiotics, such as garlic and things of that nature, is important as well.
Like a steam bath or something.
Yeah, so steam baths, like, so if anybody knows about, like, when we talk about, that's part of like hydrotherapy. You know, when you talk about steam or whatever, or raising your blood pressure, first and foremost, though, it actually works to kill off stuff as well. That's one reason why you get a temperature. I know this is probably not part of the cooking part, but anyway, your body gets a temperature in order to raise the temperature in order to kill it off. A lot of times, the things that our bodies do in order to protect itself or have defenses, we try to fight off. So, for instance, I get a temperature. Oh no, he has a temperature. Let's go ahead and lower his temperature. Well, no, your body is designed to defend or to fight off when you're sick. Now, an extreme high temperature, 104 above, 103, 104 above for a long period of time can cause brain issues and stuff. So you need to check to figure out what the cause of that actually is. But a 100, 101 temperature, even maybe 102 for a good period of time is not necessarily all that bad. Same thing as with coughing or sneezing. We want to cough, then we says, oh no, let me get a cough suppressant to keep the cough. Your body's trying to eliminate what's in it that's not supposed to be in it. Same thing with the sneeze. Oh well, let me get something to stop myself from sneezing. That's not what's best for us. Our body, God created us, we're fearfully and wonderfully made. So, like we're saying now, that kind of will us to it. As much as you take in, you want to eliminate as well, especially toxins. But as far as the steam bath, it helps to have those toxins to come out of your pores. You know, if you think about your pores, you know, when you get out of the shower, you know, all of, you know what I mean? You have more, the skin is the largest organism on your body. And so if you can have toxins come out, sorry, it's all right. To have toxins come out of your pores, that's great too. So get into a sauna, get into a steam bath, things of that nature, and have it come out. Make sure you take a nice shower after you come out of it to get all those toxins and everything off of your body that has come from the inside out. And then, you know, sorry.
I just want to say this is a wellness and cooking class. You know, it's the cooking demo. If you have a question that's not kind of related to, please feel free to raise your hand and ask, because you may forget, and I don't want you to do that. So we're going to go ahead on and move along. We're moving along to the first important meal of the day.
Anybody know what that is?
Breakfast. Very important. And so many of us, are concerned. We are. We are we want some yummy food. So what we're gonna do is demo that. So we're gonna talk about how to make some yummy pancakes. Some pancakes and how we can eat them healthily. And how we do that, I have to admit that I actually left my plant-based milk, my almond milk at home. So for the sake of demo purposes, I'm using water just so that you can kind of see. It's not gonna hurt anything. You're not gonna eat it. You already took care of that. So I just wanted to let you all know that. So we're gonna go ahead and take 2 cups of rolled oats. Yep. And this is 2 cups of water, but I mean, it's plant-based milk, right?
Right. Of course, you know, nuts don't really have. So almonds don't really need that. I don't know how they do.
You can make milk out of rice.
Yeah.
Rice milk, oats milk, any,
So in it,
yeah.
arches come off of it, okay.
yeah, it's the same process. Yeah, that's plant-based milk. Some people can't take to the soy, but they can do something else, another nut. Some people can't take the certain nuts. That's also with this. So, you know, God has a plan for everybody, right? Yep. So before I add anything else, I'm so used to just going on and on. We're going to go ahead on and blend. You always want to blend after you add the first 2 ingredients, your oatmeal and your plant-based milk. That's good. Just wanted to kind of stir up a bit. Then you're going to kind of add some banana to that.
Made oatmeal. That's what we're looking at.
Pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. And so now we're going to add banana, which is very good. It has potassium and it is good for a lot of different things here. I put my vanilla over here. We're going to add some vanilla, imitation vanilla. And you want 2 teaspoons of that. And again, we're going to get this to you. And we're going to do it calls for a half a teaspoon of Himalayan salt. But I honestly, in light of knowing how much salt we should have intake and how you have to spread that across the whole day, I like to go down even a notch to 1/4 a teaspoon. Thank you. Thank you. So, it's tight in here. Sometimes you think you have everything, you don't. All right, so we have 1/4 teaspoon of Himalayan salt. And there's also an option for coconut flakes. You can put that there. Sometimes I add them, sometimes I don't. Coconut, you have to really be a coconut lover to really want that in your pancake. And I'm not that, but that's what you can add if you want to. And then you just blend. That's a pretty good consistency. Now, again, this is water that I substituted with. It's still a good consistency. I'm going to see if it was thin enough, but I'm going to, let me put this here. Since I left my ham spray, or not my ham, my avocado spray. So I'm going to improvise. You always have to find ways to improvise, right? I want to tell you what I really saw. All right, so we're gonna put that there. You have another paper towel. And I just put this here so that the mixture doesn't stick. But you know, you use your pan, and I normally don't use this, but I have to for this for the sake of this demonstration. Thank you. All right, so we have our skillet, and this is what we put on in our home because it's a family of 5 and everybody's hungry. So we do that. And I'm telling on myself. I'll do one large one.
Now, of course, when we're home,
There.
we don't make them that small. We got to, and you know, it's good. That's one blessing in being able to have knowledge about these kinds of things because you can use, like this is oatmeal. We grew up eating like the king syrup with Aunt Jemima, like pancakes and stuff like that as well. And it has all your different dairies and eggs and things of that nature to it. But you can actually mix and match. And one thing that my wife typically does, she puts a lot of fruits in them as well. We're not doing that today, but so it'll be like a blueberry oatmeal pancake. It'll be, so now you're getting your fiber, you're getting all these other different nutrients and things of that nature too. That you're eating healthy and you're eating good. And oatmeal is very filling, isn't that right? Mm-hmm. And so, you know what I mean, as you're getting your first meal of the day to help you throughout the day, that fiber and everything so that you can eliminate. It's very important. A lot of us, we get sick because of like constipation. When we eat, we're supposed to void, and a lot of us don't void as much as we eat. Therefore, it builds up in your system, and it produces toxins and things of that nature as well. So, diets high in fiber is good, so that you can continue to eliminate as far as the water, which will help push it through as well.
All right, I'm turning it back up a little bit because it's taking a little longer than normal. I think I turned it down a little too much. Oh, sure. Yes, we can start working on the pancakes since they're already pre-made for you. They've been in the warmer waiting. So, and with the pancakes here, we have this. I don't know if anybody wants this as an option, but probably not. Because we normally serve it with, you can serve it with maple syrup. You can put a fruit sauce on there. Yes.
When you say oatmeal, I'm assuming you're not talking about Quaker oats, you're talking about organic oats.
You can use any, rolled oats is typically the one you want to use. That's all typically I use, but you can use whatever you have. If you have quick oats, use quick oats.
Oh, because it's
It will
banana.
still work. It will still work.
That's good.
So the banana helps to bind it. It's an egg substitute.
It makes it sweet.
Yeah, and it takes care of the sweet. How about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
It takes care of the sweet for sure.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about, is this gonna be sweet enough for all those that like that sweet.
Yeah.
And it's healthy and it helps the heart and other cardiovascular diseases. So
It's about as simple as you can get from a restaurant.
Really?
it's very simple and
Sure.
it's been our go-to once we, make plant-based. When I learned about this recipe, I said, well, there's plenty of recipes out there, but this right here was to me, it definitely beats it by far.
Yeah. Oats are very
So the ones
good.
we just handed out were made with rolled oats, a banana,
We're gonna get this
almond
recipe.
milk.
Yes, you can use any plant-based milk. We typically use almond in our home. A soy, kind of has a lot of estrogen in it, so we just kind of, keep away
We
from
talked
that.
about it.
Yeah, we keep away. So we use almond milk, and you can use coconut milk. You can use whatever you have. And as you see, I just used milk, and guess what? It's edible. It is edible. So,
So can you refrigerate those for a couple of days? stick
I
them in
freeze
toast
them.
During the mornings? Okay.
you can refrigerate them, you can freeze them. I actually, the pancakes you're eating, I made those last night, and I froze them. Just because, even though I knew I was gonna be here today, I still froze them, just so that I knew that I would have to ride a little bit, you know? And so it keeps. It keeps.
So you just let them heat up naturally, you don't have to set them out like an hour before you want it.
You don't have to. You can sit them right on, pop them right in the oven. And on the low, I would put it probably about 275 maybe, and maybe 15 minutes, something like that. And it'll be nice and warm. Here, get some.
We just pop ours in the toaster.
How about, you know, that's a great idea. I'll share with you that I tried that one time. I can't think, was it with pancakes or something? And maybe I had to leave it in a little longer, something like that. But it just seemed like it was cold on the outside, or warm on the outside, but cold on the inside. So I just kind of did the oven. But if you're in a quick fix and you're trying to leave and go out to work and you're just trying to have something, by sure, please.
I'm sorry, I missed what that was. But one thing that we've done too, air fryer.
Yeah.
How many people have an air fryer? You just got to be careful, because if it's too light, then it'll float to the top and stick to the burner, and you don't want that. That's a bad thing. No, my experience. But yeah, but the pancakes, you can put things in there as well. It just blows the air around into it. But because our kids, what happen? They'll go in the freezer and they'll put it in the toast oven, and it just keep moving. So yeah.
All right. So how was those pancakes?
Yeah, very good.
Awesome. I like that. I'm just going to.
And you can always season it to taste if you want a little bit more honey or a little less honey, or
You can add your
signature to it.
your own signature to it, because I do have a signature that I add to mine. This is the basic one, but if you want to add your
I like the fruit idea.
cinnamon and your, when I say
Blueberries.
cinnamon,
Strawberry.
Ceylon is the best one, is the healthier type of cinnamon. It doesn't irritate your stomach. The other one's kind of stomach irritant. So Ceylon is a very good one. You can get some at Sprouts, and yeah, health food stores normally carry.
and that's a CEYLON. CEYLON.
That's true. I'm just gonna get this off here. Sit in your house. All right.
Erica, we can take care of those if you
If you
want.
want
I'm
them,
sure people will eat them.
I'm sure you're welcome to try the pancake made with water.
Made with-
It may taste a little different.
Yeah.
I mean, we can pass it on.
If somebody wants them, they want me to, they're sure enough welcome. All right, so we're gonna move, I turned that off, and make sure that's on. Moving on down here. So we had a little episode here, being very transparent with you all, because on the way driving, I try to prep and make everything before my sauces spilled over. So I'm actually gonna make the sauce right here for you. I just, it's further. Can it, yeah, it's gonna.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, we're just gonna share one.
Yeah.
You don't have to, you can have one.
Yeah, those things are good, very good.
Thank you. You want something? I think so.
This water, and honestly, I'll say this to you. Normally I do have the pancakes with, like, you can have scrambled tofu, you can have them with your sausage patties, which I was gonna have for you all, but I'm saving that for another day, so stay tuned, because you can actually do other things with the sauce patty. So, but you can have your fruit, which is very important. It helps to flush out toxins. Fruit is a cleanser. And so it's so important it's important to make sure we eat our fruit. So on that note, I'm going to encourage that's the one
Just water.
Yeah.
Tell me how that tastes. Sure, they can. I had a fruit platter here for you all because I want to, inspire and encourage you all with eating fruits. So, not that you don't, but
Single, it takes the letter.
Sure, I'll take one. Yep. Meaning she's bringing fruit. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure. Put it in there.
all right. Okay. So, how many of you, I'm told that you all are familiar with Herb Mare, right? No? Herb Mare. Yes, I know that the women are, because that little birdie told me that the women are familiar with this. So,
What do they call that?
Herb Mare. Herb Mare is,
H-E-R-B-M-A-R-E?
yes, like herb, H-E-R-B, herba mare, with an A and then M-E-R-E. And so this is very beneficial because it does have sea salt, but it's infused with herbs. So all the herbs that give a salty flavor, it dills and let's see, what's some more things in here? Chives, parsley, and even though I'm naming these things, it's not so potent that you only taste those particular herbs, but the combination of them is what makes it taste really good. If you want to sample, I can let you sample. But this right here is very good, and it is very beneficial to have this in your cabinet, in your kitchen, along with Celtic salt, right? I'm saying it correctly? Celtic, yeah. Celtic is healthier brand of salt, and we want to be on the healthy, make healthy choices. So that's what this is about, trying to inspire to make healthy choices. All right.
I don't want to see one person.
Okay, so we're going to go forward with this next thing. This is just the things everyone's been waiting for.
Erica, what are you gonna make?
Everybody has one?
This is your plant-based Valentino fettuccine, or fettuccine Valentino, I don't know. So, this is a alternative to fettuccine, regular fettuccine sauce, and it works. It works. So we're gonna go ahead on. So I have to move this.
She comes back. Go ahead on. Mhm. Oh, thank you.
I just found the little ones.
Just what I needed.
Okay. We're going to make a fettuccine sauce, and it calls for 2 cups of cashews.
Those are raw, right?
Raw cashews. Thank you for saying that. 2 cups of raw cashews. And 1 teaspoon of salt. Now,
You're doing all this work. Thank you.
okay. So, how many of you all like grapefruit?
Yeah.
But I'm pleasantly surprised to see all the hands raised. It's not typical that people like grapefruit, but they say that, really the bitter, the better for your body, for your organs, specifically your liver and your kidney, and that's the benefit. I apologize. I'm trying to find a page that I don't see in here right now. But at any rate, we're going to go ahead on. We have 2 cups of raw cashews. We're going to go with 3. This is supposed to be 3/4 teaspoons of nutritional yeast.
Mm.
And this is already in here. This is earthenware, and you really want 1 to 2 teaspoons of that, or any salt substitute that you choose. And then we're going to use about 1. Actually, it's 2 now. So about 2 cups of water. And I'm gonna tell you, you can also use a plant-based unsweetened milk, or unsweetened milk of choice. It's just that it comes out a whole lot creamier than use milk.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I also have a very important ingredient that I just remembered, and that is garlic. You use garlic powder. I use both garlic powder and garlic powder as well as garlic. It's very good to use. Really, it's good to use garlic powder. Garlic as much as possible in anything. So that's 1. And you're going to put 1 to 2 teaspoons of garlic powder I'm using, I put 1.5, and I'm gonna go ahead and put choose a nice little size garlic clove. And say a prayer, no. And for those of you who cannot eat cashews, I am still working on finding out the alternative. I thought I knew one, but there's one out there. Now, one I do know is I believe you can use cauliflower. Cauliflower will serve a very good creamy cheese or fettuccine, whatever sauce you're looking for. So that's another alternative as well. I've never tried it, but I'll say any nut will turn into a good sauce.
What about almonds?
You just have to soak them in
Almonds would work. If you pre-soak, you want to definitely soak them overnight, at least an hour to 2 hours, or if you can overnight, just do it ahead of time, and then you are good to go. Okay. Sorry about this. Some things get a little bit mixed up here. There we go. So, we actually have some sauce here. And I'll just ask, how many of you say your scraps? I see one hand. Your scraps from your vegetables and your fruit? No? Beneficial. I want to encourage you all to save your scraps so that you can compost so that you can grow. As you're growing your own provisions, you have all the nutrition that you need, all the nitrogen, all of those good things. All right, we're just going to add this just for a little while. We have our heat up one.
It's still pretty creamy.
All right. I like to get every nook and cranny. I was taught that way.
Yes.
You don't want to waste anything. And I know a wise lady in the faith that says, waste not, want not.
Yeah.
So I want to encourage that to you to stay. It's true. I mean, she cans and she saves her skins to make tomato powder. You dry them, and next thing you know, you can blend them up and you have like a little tomato powder. And then when you make soups, you can add it to your soups and make a thickener. So, she does it with just about everything. And I'm like, I need to take chapters out of the book. And I want to encourage you. This is really almost done because we kind of have a little bit of sauce in here already. And I want to show you how it's looking.
What will the sauce be used with?
This is going to go over some pasta. So this is your fettuccine sauce here. You can put this now. I'm going to tell you a little trick. Not really a trick, but something a little eye-opening. And that is, if you add pimentos to this same thing here, it becomes a cheese sauce. So, along with lemon. So lemon and pimentos make a nice cheese sauce. It's just one of the cheese sauces. There's so many cheese sauces out there. Keep stirring so it doesn't stick.
Make some good cheese sauce.
There's a couple of cheese sauces that the best cheese sauce comes from the ground. You know what I mean? And we're gonna learn one. I'm gonna share one with you before this month is out, Lord willing. So I think we are pretty much here. It's thick. It's the consistency of fettuccine. And we have pasta already pre-made, so I'm just gonna turn this down. All right. I think there's one right here. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're getting your plates kind of made up a little bit. Make sure there's no lumps in it at all. And this is just an alternative, you know, just an alternative. I think that's a really good consistency. Now, I may add a little bit more water to this. Why? Because as it cools, it will thicken. So I think I may do that. All right, so this concludes this particular portion of this. I almost forgot to make mention. Oil was already added to this, but if you wanted to, you could slowly add about a 1/2 cup of oil to your your cashew sauce, and that will probably give it another flavor as well. Another flavor. So here we have. And I am going to pour some over. Who likes to have theirs added last? Their sauce added last. Okay, I'm not gonna pour it over it. All right, so that's what we're gonna do. We're going to pause right here, and while I'm over here, I'm gonna soon have my husband come and share something with you, because with your, you know, we want to encourage whole grain pasta. That's the best thing. Whole grain is always best. Okay, so along with the pasta, I'm gonna encourage salad, vegetables, eating good, wholesome meals. So we have a dressing that he honestly is the king to making. He makes it better than I can. So I'm kind of putting him on the spot here. But he thought it was just me in the kitchen today, but he's good with that.
Okay. Let me go ahead and grab my ingredients here and I'll come right back to you. So this is an Italian dressing. But it's made not in Italy, right? So how we make it and what you'll find out in a lot of the dishes that we have is that we use garlic. And so where you may not necessarily have a food drink to drink every day, just from regular eating and things of that nature, how you prepare your foods, you'll have what it is that you need in order to help your body fight. So a lot of people like salads, but they can't eat salads without dressing. You're like that. You're like me. I can't eat a salad dry. So with that being said, is that even when we made the transition, what you'll find is that a lot of the salad dressings, like your ranches and your things, we couldn't eat because it has your dairy, it has your other different things in it. Some of them not only have dairy, but they have like alcohol in it. Some of your vinaigrettes and things of that nature as well. So you got to be careful with those. And so the best thing that you can do is do what? Do it yourself. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and start. One of the things that we use with Italian dressings, we're going to start with your lemons, freshly squeezed lemons. If you don't have freshly squeezed lemons, they also have the lemon juice that you can actually pour. And for one serving, it says to 3 to 4 lemons. Usually I do about 3 servings in our family. So I'll do about anywhere from 9 to 12 tablespoons of lemons. So that's what this is right here. You can make sure that you strain out the seeds and everything like that too, in the interest of time and movement. You know, I didn't do that right now. So that is your lemons right there. It looks like it's not a lot, but to be honest with you, when it comes down to it, it spreads out quite a lot. If you think about Italian dressing, it's kind of the same type of mixture. You don't want to do too much. Next, then you'll have 1 to 2 cloves of garlic for 1 serving. So therefore, I usually triple it. So it'd be anywhere from 3 to 6. Now you can do, you know, however many you want, but for 1 serving is 1 to 2 garlic. Since we're doing 3, we're going to put 6. I think I may even have 7 or 6.5 in here right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and dump the garlic in there as well. The next thing that they say is that they want you to have olive oil. And so you got to be careful with the different oils as well too. The healthier oils that you can get, the better. But olive oil, we have cooking olive oil right here. And for your olive oil, it says 2 to 3 tablespoons for 1 serving. Therefore, it would be somewhere from 6 to 9 for 3. Is that right? So that's what we're going to do right now. Let's see what my tablespoon. I have a tablespoon measure. Yep, tablespoon. All right, tablespoon. So it says we did 3. So I tend to go on the shorter, the smaller side. I tend to, based off our family, we do more of the garlic, maybe less of the oil and things of that nature as well. So when it says 3 to 6, see how much, blend it up and then taste it and see how much you actually like it. So we'll do 1. Last one. All right. That's there, and then from there you'll have, it says 1/4 tablespoons of salt. 1/4 teaspoons of salt, and you can double that as you would like. But for the sake here, we're only going to put in a little bit. And typically, what we do is we don't use the salt. You can also use Bragg's liquid aminos as well as the substitute for it. So it says either the salt, which is 1/4 tablespoon to 1/2 tablespoon. Teaspoon. 1/4 teaspoon to 1/2 teaspoon. Or you can do from 1 to 2 tablespoons of Bragg's liquid aminos. All right. So because we don't have the Bragg's with us today, we're going to use the salt. Let me go grab it. Himalayan salt. Okay. And so I have a 1/2 one right here. If I can get it in here.
You're using the herb.
This is the Urban Mary. Yep. Now that was only 4 different ingredients, and that was it. Now it does say that you can use like sweet basil or freshly, like sweet basil is freshly minced in here as well. If you like some other different things, you could add that to it as well. And any of these, basically, since you're making it, you can add as you need to some other ingredients to it so that it seasons to your taste. But for the basic, this is what we have here. Top one. Next, you blend it. All the way up. You don't need to blend it too much. Make sure that's fine as a liquid. There's some seeds out here floating around in there. And so, and then you'll see, you can pour this over. If you want it as a thicker consistency, you can put a little bit more garlic in there or a little less oil.
Or tofu.
Or you can put tofu. Yeah. We put tofu in there to thicken it up a little bit as well, but do you want to?
I want to.
Okay.
I was just gonna say, the soft silken one, which makes it a creamy Italian, turns it into that, creamy Italian version. They have options.
Yep. And so that's actually how you make your seasoning. So it's a combination of your lemon juice, it's your garlic cloves, it is your oil, and then just a little bit of salt. And that's how you can have something to season over top of your salad without eating it dry. If you don't like it dry like me.
And I'll just say that the lemon, you don't have to use a lot of salt because the lemon helps out the salt flavor. It helps to bring out the salt. So that's one benefit to using lemon versus just using salt in many of our dishes. I will use that, and many other people I know will use that as an alternative. So that cuts down. Because one may ask, well, how is it that I can change? How do I get that flavor, that taste? There's many things that we can use as alternatives, along with just a lesser of the salt intake and more of what our bodies can use, which is very good to help build up the immune. Lemon has a lot of vitamin C. I don't know if you said that already, but it has a lot of vitamin C, which is a immune boosting ingredient. So,
You want to pet that?
okay, well, I want to thank you all for your patience.
No.
For your patience.
Oh, we didn't go.
I'm sorry. I was supposed to be here. Handing these out. Maybe I should do that. Thank you so much.
You know, very seldom is it that you sit.
But this is, it worked out really well.
And get very creative with that.
I couldn't see a word, I couldn't see a word on the board except for three, but you couldn't see it
I think
either.
you saw
I
my
couldn't read anything.
recipes here. You can top your, let me get a couple for these sisters here. You can top it with whatever you want. Whatever you do with regular fettuccine, that's really how you treat plant-based food. However, the way you.
Thank you.
I think Cindy saw a post on Facebook of me. I think I shared mine with some kind of kale or something along those lines. But you can put broccoli. You can top it. Sometimes I'll top it with breading, like put your little bread mix on it if you want a little crunch, something like that to finish it with. And you can do that, and you can get creative in the kitchen. Get creative.
Mushrooms. Mushrooms.
But you can do mushrooms if you choose to, yes. You can do whatever you like. So, again, I want to thank you all for today. This will conclude our cooking class for today, and we will be back with you on the next Sunday. And now that we've done it this time, we know just what it all takes to pull this off. But go back and tell your friends, tell your loved ones that we want them to come out and share and learn of these beautiful recipes and this wellness class that can help prevent illness and help bring about better health. Yes.
When are you opening your true vegetarian restaurant.
My husband keeps saying that and others too, but you know what? Pray for me. Pray for me. Pray for me.
Mhm.
We have an empty restaurant right behind the Decker Church.
Really?
Yeah, they just left.
Oh, wow. Well, see, that was something actually I am.
And it's
looking
right
to-
on the main street.
Wow. So that means you all like it. It's a good alternative. Awesome. That's a big win. That's awesome.
What is the pasta?
It's fettuccine.
No, but I mean, what, you said it was a plant that's
Oh, great.
whole grain.
Oh, I want to encourage whole grain. This is regular pasta that you would find, but we want to encourage, you
It's
know,
just
try to-
called whole grain. It's not
Yes.
like wheat or.
Right, right.
Hard to find.
But we
So
want to,
where's the stuff that you're selling?
oh, right after, I tell you what, right after we pray, I'm going to go ahead on and clear this off really quick and put that up. And I have some, you want that chocolate alternative. And that's one of the ones that people pretty much like, you know, I'm not just saying that, but there's people who really are looking for something to transition or to an alternative to chocolate. And so I'm very curious to see your reaction to this. So anyway, again, we thank you and Pastor.
Just want to say, we really appreciate the hard work and creativity and
Yes.
everything else you put into this.
Thank you. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. I'm so glad that
I just want to add, it's not only educational and informative. I think we've all had fun here this afternoon. So that means a
Right,
lot
right.
too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate all of you. And, you know, over the course of the next few weeks, we'll be talking about like digestion. You know, we know that you guys are taking samples right now. We want to teach everybody about like different intervals and eating and things of that nature as well. And even toxins and stuff that's inside of our bodies and how they affect us. So over the course of time, we'll be, next few Sundays, we'll be doing a little bit more education in regards to health and wellness. Today was common diseases and these dishes as well. And so we'll move forward over the next few weeks. So if you were blessed by it, you know, come back next week. You know, we know some people are not gonna be able to make it every week, but you know, we look forward to seeing you. And if you have anybody to bring with you, feel free to do so. All right, so with that being said, we're gonna go ahead. Yes, any questions? Okay.
Did you intend for the salad?
Yeah, I said I was gonna come. I do apologize. Yeah, we do. You know what? You wanna hand it out now, or do you wanna?
We're praying and
Okay, can we do that? Can we pray and then we're gonna,
anybody wants
this hard work for salad that was made and created by yours truly. We definitely need to make sure.
Everybody here.
We wanna thank you. We cannot do this without, let that be a testament that nobody can do one thing by themselves, you know? So it takes a whole body, a whole family, so.
Right, and again, we want to thank the Floyd family as well for letting us to have this platform as well to be able to share. Health is very important, you know, and we talk about, you know, health in regards to our spirituality, they go hand in hand. So we have to be conscious on these things because, you know, it has lifelong implications, you know, eternal implications in regards to it. Any other questions before we pray?
And I'm just gonna slide in that it's not pulling your arm, it's tasty, right?
Mhm.
So it's not like God is not gonna say, here, you should do this and not give you something better, you know? That's the thing. So you just have to know what those things are, so be encouraged.
Absolutely. And let's pray. Father in heaven, we thank you so much, dear Lord, for this day, this time that we've had the fellowship, that we can learn, dear Lord, more about your ideal for us and our bodies. Because we know, dear Lord, that if we, the mind is what is the devil is after, and if he can control our mind, then he controls their body. So we ask, dear Lord, that we may have clear minds, clear bodies, clear hearts, dear Lord, that we may be able to surrender them to you. And ultimately, when it's said and done, may be saved in your kingdom when you come. Be with each family member here, and may the information that we shared today prick our hearts, dear Lord, that we may make a change for wherever it may be, in each and every one of us. In Jesus' name we pray. Grant us safe traveling mercies as we leave this place as well, but never leave your presence. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen, amen. And I just wanted to say to you all, there is some books over here that you all can take a look at that we have to encourage what we discussed today. And my God's Pharmacy book was hiding all the way behind one of the largest books here. And it has a lot of natural reference in it as well, so. All right.
Yeah, they are the books for sale or just to look at?
Oh, wait a minute, speaking of the books, no, we do have some books, past the book cookbooks, simple cookbooks if you are, for purchase, they're very cost effective, and I'm gonna put those out as well.
Oh, and for purchases, anyone who wants to purchase, we have various different means. We do a lot of vendoring here and there. So if you have a card, you have cash, we do have some change available to us. We can accept cash as well. But if you have a card, that's most ideal. And that's that. So let's go for this all.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in with us. Appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in with us. God bless.
Okay.